What do losing pleasure in doing things you used to love, lacking the motivation to complete tasks, and withdrawing from your social life have in common? They're all symptoms of psychosis. Now, a lot of people might disagree with me because they will say, that's not psychosis. Psychosis is a break from reality. Psychosis is when you're hearing voices and you think the FBI is tracking you. It's not lacking the ability to finish your chores. But hear me out. It's not just a break from reality. Psychosis alters your experience with reality. And an altered experience with reality can go two ways. It can either add to your reality or subtract from your reality. Psychosis is made up of positive and negative symptoms. These are the symptoms that add and subtract from a person's experience with reality. And it's really quite simple when you break it down. Positive symptoms are hallucinations and delusions, and these are symptoms that add on to the reality a person is already experiencing. So if you were to hear something that wasn't there, that's an addition to your reality. If you believe things that aren't true, that's an addition to your reality. Get it? So you're already in reality, and now you have this other layer of reality added on top. Negative symptoms subtract from that. Negative symptoms take away parts of a person's experience with reality. So things that you can do that you can normally perform in your everyday reality are lost. Things like speech, alogia, which is a symptom, a negative symptom, in which a person has a diminished ability to communicate through language. Or avolition, which I've talked about, which is lacking the drive or ability to perform daily tasks. Anhedonia, losing the pleasure in doing things. Asociality, withdrawing socially, losing those aspects of your life subtract from your experience of reality. Now, a lot of these symptoms are present in other conditions. It's important to note that these aren't exclusive to psychosis. However, they are an important feature of psychosis that is often overlooked. People focus on the break from reality, meaning they focus on the hallucinations and delusions, the obvious, flashier symptoms, and they neglect to realize that a break from reality includes breaking off the things that you once were able to do. So yes, there are more symptoms to psychosis than just hallucinations and delusions. And when I talk about these symptoms, these negative symptoms, and people tend to ask, what does that have to do with psychosis? Let me tell you, that is psychosis. Cognitive symptoms of psychosis are essentially impairments of a person's cognitive abilities. And these tend to be the lingering symptoms that I can't quite escape because psychosis tends to involve a touch of brain damage. And this brain damage causes lasting, persistent effects on a person's cognitive abilities. So what kind of abilities am I talking about? Thought processing, for instance. It takes me a while longer to digest what I'm taking in. Language and reading comprehension, those are a little bit harder. Things like attention and focus and learning and retaining new knowledge, things like that. Things like memory, short-term and working memory. There's so much that's affected by psychosis. Now, this used to be a really big issue for me. Coming out of psychosis was so incredibly hard because I'd lost a lot of these abilities. And while it may sound hard to believe, I basically had to relearn how to read and write. I could write maybe the most basic of sentences. I could read a couple of sentences, but I had lost a lot of that ability and it took a lot of hard work to get it back. After several years, I had just come to accept that there were certain things I'd probably never recover and that I would always struggle to read and always struggle with my memory, and that was just how it was. But recently, someone pointed out to me that I'm actually doing a lot better. I took a minute to ponder this and I realized, yeah, they are actually spot on. They are so correct because since I've started doing advocacy on TikTok, my cognitive abilities have improved by a lot. Let me tell you why. I pour a lot of effort into my videos, and a lot of my videos are educational, and I feel that it would be wrong of me to spread misinformation. So I do the best I can to be well informed about the things I talk about. And to do that, I read multiple articles and research papers for every single video. All of my educational videos are at least a minimum of 3 or 4 articles or research papers to study to make one video. So I do this pretty much every day. I'm looking up and learning and studying every day. Some videos I'll do as many as 10 articles because I want to make sure that I'm getting it right. I want to make sure that I'm putting out the right information. And when I get it wrong, I make sure to come back and correct it. So sometimes, yeah, I'm not getting the best take, but I'm constantly learning and improving and building on that previous knowledge. Before this, I didn't read at all. I have read one book in however many years. I honestly can't remember. I'm not good at reading and I've avoided it. I've avoided reading books specifically because they're too long and hard to understand. What I didn't realize is that through reading these articles every day, I am building my reading comprehension, and I've improved and improved and improved so that not only is it easier for me to understand what I'm reading, it's easier for me to retain what I'm reading and to be able to put it into my own words, to process it and put it into my own words. On top of that, I do a lot of memorizing for my videos. I memorize a bulk of what I say in my videos. So I've actually improved like a lot. And when I look back on my earlier videos from when I started, I think it really shows. It was a lot harder to make videos back then. It was so hard to express what I felt into words and to put it out there. And I think I stumbled a lot. And I feel a lot more articulate today because I've sharpened my mind. It's a lot quicker now today. And I owe that to making videos on TikTok. So what I thought was lost forever, the cognitive abilities that I'd thought would never come back, have improved because I spend every day learning and educating myself. And I forgot that your mind is a muscle, your brain is a muscle, and you can strengthen it. So thank God for randomly falling into TikTok because it's helped my mental health a lot. Many people have expressed that they can relate to my videos, and I'm glad you all feel heard. But before you draw any conclusions about your mental state, I'd like you to consider a few things. Many symptoms of psychosis are also symptoms of other mental health disorders. They are not exclusive to psychosis. Some symptoms of psychosis can look similar to other conditions, though they have distinct differences. In order to have psychosis, you not only need to have negative symptoms like avolition, disorganized speech or thought, alogia, asociality, you need to have positive symptoms of hallucinations and delusions. Negative symptoms alone are not psychosis. Self-diagnosis through watching videos on TikTok is not an accurate way of diagnosing psychosis. Only a doctor can diagnose psychosis. If you truly believe that you're experiencing psychosis, I would urge you to see a doctor. Psychosis can be treated and early intervention is possible. I try not to spread misinformation through my videos, and I've had a huge wave of new followers recently, and I've discovered that a lot of people are taking my videos to mean that they actually have psychosis. I know there are some very relatable traits of psychosis, and I really don't want anyone to think that that's the whole disorder. Psychosis is a constellation of more symptoms than I can count, and it's an incredibly, incredibly complex condition. What I touch on in my videos is a very, very, very small look at a much larger picture. It's not as easy to identify as you would think. Most people actually don't know that they have it. In fact, the funny thing is that the people who don't think they have psychosis are usually the ones who have psychosis. Not being able to tell is a key feature. I'd implore you to educate yourself about psychosis as much as you can before coming to the decision that you have it. And not just through my videos. Look outside of TikTok for your education. Go to doctors, talk to them, go to the library, read the DSM, whatever it takes. Do what you can to learn before you decide.